There is a rich tradition of arts in the Pikes Peak region, and one of its foremost institutions just turned 100 years old. The Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center at Colorado College is celebrating its origins, dating back to its inception as the Broadmoor Art Academy.
For students, teachers, artists, and performers, the Fine Arts Center has been a destination and inspiration for generations. Kate takes us inside this historic space to learn more.
For generations before there even was a Colorado Springs or the Broadmoor Art Academy, artists have been drawn to the region because of the spectacular scenic beauty. So artists like Thomas Moran and George Caleb Bingham and Albert Bierstadt visited the Pikes Peak region and drew inspiration from the mountains and the plains, the beautiful weather. They painted, they drew, they photographed, and those images made their way back east. And in the minds of many Americans, they were already familiar with what lay out west even before they might have come themselves in the late 19th, early 20th century. This place has been a source of inspiration for artists and continues to be that to this day.
This building, the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center at Colorado College, would come to play a massive role for artists and performers from around the country and even the world. This institution got its start under a different name, the Broadmoor Art Academy, which opened in October of 1919.
Julie Penrose and her husband Spencer Penrose gave a gift of Julie's former home in Colorado Springs. They wanted to formalize training. They wanted to bring the best of the world to Colorado Springs. The Broadmoor Art Academy drew the finest talent in the country. So early on, Robert Reed came. He oversaw portrait and figure painting. They attracted John F. Carlson. John F. Carlson taught landscape painting at the Broadmoor Art Academy. These were leading figures in the art world in the United States. Their reputations were so widespread that they drew students who wanted to come here to follow in their footsteps. They thought they might have 15, 20 students, and by the end of the summer they had over 80 adults and probably another dozen young people.
They could not only exhibit artwork, but they could also have instructors here helping people learn about art and how to become artists, and also to have all sorts of gatherings and artistic performances and expressions. This really carried forward through the Great Depression, as a matter of fact, and really served as a hub for the arts in Colorado Springs.
In one word, the atmosphere of the Broadmoor Art Academy was fun. It was raucous. It was avant-garde.
But there, the separation between faculty and student, it was more like a family.
They threw wild parties, they socialized together, they went on hikes, they took picnics, they did plein air painting and Garden of the Gods. It brought just a touch of whimsy and fun to Colorado Springs.
It does attract people from across the country, and so we're always having visiting artists that came in from London, from wherever.
And they kept coming. You have people like Tabor Utley, Ernest Lawson, Arnold Blanche, Doris Lee. The Legion of Artists is simply incredible, and it puts Colorado Springs on the map in terms of a place to be in camaraderie with your fellow artists. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, there is a transition happening, and there are three incredibly powerful visionary women behind the transition from the Broadmoor Art Academy to the Fine Arts Center. So Alice Bemis Taylor has a phenomenal collection of Southwest materials. She keeps it in her home. She wants to do something quite generous. She wants to give or endow a library building at Colorado College. She's working in concert with and friends with Elizabeth Sage Hare. Elizabeth Sage Hare has come to Colorado Springs from New York City and Santa Fe. Her credentials are astounding. She knows everyone in the art scene. They are also friends with Julie Penrose, the original sponsor or contributor to the Broadmoor Art Academy.
And they really envisioned transforming what had been the Broadmoor Art Academy into this multidisciplinary arts center that would celebrate all of the arts under one roof.
they dream up a fine arts center, a union of dance and music and theater and fine arts, a palace of fine arts, if you will, where Colorado Springs can see and participate in absolutely the best that the world has to offer in terms of avant-garde art, theater, dance, etc. And they build this beautiful building designed by John Gamim, and it opens in April of 1936, and it hits the papers worldwide. Martha Graham dances at the opening. There is an exhibit of loaned art that includes Cézanne's, Renoir's, Picasso's.
Eric Satie's performance of Socrate was on the stage with a set by Alexander Calder.
For the opening, they had Frank Lloyd Wright, and they had other very prominent people. Everything was right from the start, and people came all over across the country to attend the opening, and so that was interesting to be around.
The Fine Arts Center today has educated and inspired generations of local students. The Bemis Art School continues to guide arts education and really set the bar high in terms of what local people can see, what they can do, what they can dream of.
The catalyst for what we know now as the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center really was Alice Bemis Taylor's collection of Southwest treasures.
And the boundaries, borders, and demographics of the Southwest have changed over the years.
So the joy of my job is I get to redefine it anytime I want.
As curator, Polly reworked the Southwest Gallery here in the permanent collection of the Fine Arts Center in anticipation of the 100th anniversary. It's been an opportunity to showcase this remarkable, rare collection.
You'll find anything from performance art, installation, to your traditional pottery, painting, and weaving. So as a Native museum professional, it has been definitely a challenge to balance the devastating history that Native people have experienced, especially in this region. Our history is to have an eradication policy to get rid of Native peoples. And so it's really kind of fascinating that there were art aficionados, let's call them, that were interested in Native art. There was a small number of social elites across the country, in the 20s especially, that were really interested in Native arts, and Alice Bemis Taylor was one of those. She was focused on pottery and Navajo textiles, and then as this museum was established, then the collection really starts to grow.
Alice Bemis Taylor played an integral part in collecting new Native works, and it was also under her patronage that the Fine Arts Center began collecting Hispanic art forms, which very few institutions were doing at the time.
So we actually have one of the premier collections in the US. We can really show how this region really was a part of a global art world exchange system for hundreds of years.
And here in this wing of the Fine Arts Center, the in-house theater company continues the performance and instruction that began at the Broadmoor Art Academy 100 years ago.
We've just recently won 5 Henry Awards, which is sort of like the Tonys for the state of Colorado. And we're very proud that the big award at the Henrys, the Outstanding Season Award, was the big award that the theater company earned.
And in 2016, the Fine Arts Center announced a historic alliance with Colorado College, formally merging the two institutions.
There has been a relationship between the Fine Arts Center and Colorado College literally since the Broadmoor Art Academy days, when we served as the de facto art department for the college. And we've had some kind of collaborative relationship with CC for that entire time. And so it feels very natural now to be formalizing that relationship and joining forces to be able to do more together than we ever could individually.
What I love about the FAC is that it's a beacon. No matter the transition, the decade, the director or the curator, the Fine Arts Center manages to push boundaries.
So many pioneers have come through the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center and have been a part of this rich history. We are really excited to see what happens in the next 100 years and are so thrilled to have our community be a part of helping us tell that story.
I think it means everything to the community.
how stunning the Southwest collection looks amazing. What was it like to film that story?
Oh, we had such a great time on location. I love going to the Fine Arts Center for any occasion, but being able to celebrate this extraordinary cultural legacy of the Pikes Peak region is just phenomenal.
That's really cool. And what a great opportunity and experience you had. For more information, visit fac.coloradocollege.edu.